Hi guys, it's Jonathan from Toro Martial Arts Academy. Today's video is 5 basic kicks. So the 5 kicks in this video are my own personal preference, and they're really important to me anyway. These are kicks, some of the basic kicks I learned when I first started martial arts, and they're pretty simple. They're effective for self-defense, and also some of the kicks are great for sport as well. Obviously some of them I will get into. I'd recommend not using for sport because obviously where you're striking is illegal, like the ground. Okay, kick number 1 is the lead front kick. So the lead front kick comes off the lead leg. That can be the left leg or right leg. And when you're throwing the kick in, you're flicking up with the knee. So basically the lead leg comes up and you're flicking from your knee outwards. The part of your foot that you're wanting to hit the target with would be, if you're wearing a pair of shoes, would be the shoelace part or the top of your foot. Basically this kick is ideal for self-defense. You're targeting the ground. You can use it as an entry, so you could throw a feint or whatever, step in, or even if you're defending yourself and the person's moving in, you can intercept them with this kick. It can also work if you're in punching veins or clinch veins, and if they break free and move back as they're retreating, you can catch them out with this kick. As well as using the top part of your foot to hit the ground, you can also use the toes, which is quite akin to the method in Savate kickboxing. Kick number 2 is the lead round kick. So basically, the first kick we did was lead front kick. As I said, that was pretty suitable for self-defense. The lead round kick, and number 2 here, is pretty good for sport or self-defense. Again, you can do it off a combo, or you can feint the entry into it. And also, I know in the video I'm hitting the pads at my partner's right side, but ideally you can use this to hit the knee, the inner thigh, the far outer thigh on the rear leg. You can also, again, like I'm doing in the video, you can hit the midriff of your partner. Also, if you've got the flexibility, this is an excellent head kick, and you can come in and kick your partner in your opponent in the side of the face. The target area on your foot is the exact same as in the first kick. It's the top part of your foot. If you're wearing a pair of shoes, it would be where the shoelaces are located. Again, a slight modification, and again this comes from Savate, which is a French style kick of kickboxing. You can use the toes, so as you come in with the lead round kick, you can kick him with the tip of your shoe into the target. If you're training that method, I'd recommend going easy and light and build up, because you could damage your toes. Again, with both the first kick and the second kick in this video so far, I'm using a pendulum step. So basically, as I'm shifting the weight slightly onto my lead leg, my right leg is going to come up, or the rear leg is going to come up. It's going to land roughly where my lead leg is, and then from there I shift my weight on the back leg, and I come up and kick with my left leg. Okay, kick number 3 is the stomp kick. With the stomp kick, you're using your rear leg because you can generate a lot more power. This kick is perfect for self-defense because the target on your opponent you're wanting to hit is basically their knee, normally their lead leg, the knee and their lead leg. As they advance in, you fire this in and hit the knee. This kick will pretty much destroy a kneecap or do a lot of damage to the leg. If you do this on somebody, you're putting them in the hospital at least, or at least sending them to the physio for the next few months, because the damage to the knee, as you connect with that, you're going to hyperextend their knee and can tear ligaments and cause a lot of rupture of the kneecap itself. As you're doing this kick, you want to make sure that you're bringing your right rear leg up, you're pointing your toes to the right hand side and your heel to the left hand side. So it means that way you've got a greater chance of connecting with your target than if you had your toes pointing at your opponent. You've got a greater chance of missing. If you are training this with your partner, I would recommend that you go really light. Go do this really controlled. If you look at the video, my partner Archer's, his keeping his lead leg bent and on the ball of his lead foot. So on the ball of the foot, knees bent. It means if I screw up and I put a bit too much power in, his leg has a bit extra give, which will hopefully give him a bit of protection. So again, if you are training this with a partner, go very light. You can practice using this against the person's shin, the knee, or the top of the thigh. But if you want to practice generating power, then do it on a punch bag. It can be one of those bags that go from pretty much the ceiling to the floor, and they're perfect for this kick. Okay, kick number 4 is the oblique kick. First couple of kicks pretty much have a big Jeet Kune Do influence on it. This one especially does. The oblique kick again is perfect for self-defense, but it can be modified to be used in sport. What you're doing is basically you're whipping your right leg up. Ideally what you're doing, obviously if you're wearing a pair of shoes, point to your shoe is going to flick up, and you want to drive that point into your opponent's groin. So it's like a spear. It's whipping up in an arc, coming in, hitting your opponent in the groin. To modify this, you can basically use this so you're hitting with the top part of your foot against your opponent's inner thigh. So you can hit the lead leg as you come up. Look at the lead leg, left leg forward, say for example. You come up and you're hitting the inner thigh, the knee, or down the side of the calf. I did see one coach, when he was sparring, the person would throw a cross. He would parry the cross with his lead hand, his left hand, and this kick would rip up and hit them in the side of the ribs as they were committing to the cross. So it's a pretty versatile kick, and you can modify it. Again, because the kick is normally at ground level, you're hitting the person's groin. I'd recommend, like in the video, get your partner to hold the pad a good bit away, maybe even a bit higher if you're able to, or you can have it a bit lower. You can use a floppy for this as well, like a taekwondo floppy, and it's perfect for training. Okay, number 5, lead and rear sharp shins. These kicks are my favourite. It's pretty much like my bread and butter. All 5 of these kicks in this video I do like, but I have to say the sharp shins I particularly like. They pretty much, if you do Muay Thai, you'll have came across these kicks. Basically compared to the 4 previous kicks where you're using your foot to hit the target, in this particular kick you're using your shin. In the previous kicks you're chambering your knee, so basically you're bringing your knee up and then you're flicking out from that. With the sharp shins, you're driving your whole hip in behind it. So when you go to do the rear sharp shin with your rear leg, as you plant your left foot down, you're basically rotating your toes out to the left. So if your body's facing your opponent, and say that's a 12 o'clock position, like in a clock, as you step out with your lead foot to set up the rear sharp shin, it's like you planted your toes at 11 o'clock position roughly, and then from there you're driving pretty much your bum, your arse in behind the kick, and the whole leg is going to come up pretty straight. And you're going to use your shins to come up diagonally, and your shin's going to hit the target. Normally, you can always use this to attack the lead leg on the outside of the thigh. There's plenty of UFC fights where you can see that. But basically, when I was being taught the sharp shin, the area that you normally hit with this would be the floating ribs, the side of your opponent, or if they have their arm down protecting it, the upper arm, which would hit obviously the humerus bone in that part of the arm. Again, one of the common mistakes that I've seen when I've been teaching this is people chambering this kick and they're flicking out with the knee. They're still hitting with the shin, but it's a different kick. With the sharp shins, you want to make sure you drive your whole hip in behind it, so the whole leg's being swung in. My coach, I train with Frankie McConville and a few other guys as well, and they all taught the same way. They always explain this was almost like a baseball bat. You're swinging in on your opponent. With the lead sharp shin, the traditional way of throwing that in would be basically the skip, as you can see in the video. As you do the skip, you're basically doing like a plyometric. As you switch your lead, so you're bringing your right leg forward, left leg's going back. As soon as your left foot hits the ground, you want to drive that left leg straight up, and again it's going to come up in a diagonal position and hit the same area that you're aiming for on your opponent. Other wee detail that is with the skip, a lot of people kind of, especially in professional level or in competition, a lot of guys are kind of picking up on that skip and to know what's coming. So one of the wee modifications you can add in is where you just step, bring your right leg forward, like you're taking a walk, step forward, and then for your lead sharp shin to kick. Okay guys, so that's the 5 basic kicks I'd recommend any beginner to work on. So you basically got your lead front kick, lead round kick, stomp kick with the rear leg, and the rear oblique kick. So the first 2 kicks are off the lead leg, the second 2, 3 and 4 are off the rear leg, and then number 5 is your sharp shins, and the sharp shin off the right leg, and sharp rear leg, and sharp shin off the lead leg. They're pretty versatile, they're not fancy, and they're easy to kind of pick up and work on. And if you have any questions, again, just write in the comments and I'll get back to you and help you out if you've any problems with the kicks or any training issues with them. If you do like the video, please like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.